about how my parents raised me. And I'm not going to exaggerate. My father always taught me that if I ever want to be successful, I must emulate the person that I am most inspired about. And sometimes he took this a little too far. 7 o'clock in the morning one day, Eman, 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 while I was sleeping, do you think that Dante slept for more than 4 hours? Do you think that's how he got successful? I was 10 years old and it was my summer holiday. My mother, who thinks she's slightly less regimented and softer, said, "Oh, but I'm not like your father." However, before she went to work, she would leave the GRE for us and the vocabulary section folded for us to learn during our summer vacation or our Easter break. That's the sort of torture that I went through my life. I realized quite recently that those were the wrong questions, and that was not the way that you are to advance yourself or to define success, but it was the people that you meet and the experiences that you have that really shape who you become. And it was defining moments and empowering experiences. So, having said that, I'm not even going to compete with some of the most intellectual conversation I've ever experienced in Oman. I'm just going to share 3 stories with you, 3 experiences that define moments that I had in my life and that continue to empower me. The first one was ألفني أتحدث, and I say this to this day. I am so fortunate that I was part of this, and I can't stress enough. I think everyone should go out there and sort of volunteer, be it a day or 2, and it's the feeling that you get in return is far more than what you can pay for. So, cutting the long story short, ألفني أتحدث, for those of you that don't speak Arabic, translates to Art Speaks, and this was a foundation, a non-profit foundation that we did in conjunction with the Omani Fine Arts Society. And we got 20 women, 20 young girls from lower social economic background, all over Oman, who loved art but didn't necessarily have the guidance or the pathway to express themselves or to advance it as a career. So what this program, the focus of this program was it believed that when women contribute to society, the outcome is more positive, and the contributions makes the community and a nation more prosperous. So it was built on the idea that these young girls who are coming from sort of corners and pockets of Oman that most of us probably wouldn't have visited unless we have family there. And if you were to ask them about certain things that they're not used to, their opinion on certain things they're not used to talking about, they would possibly be shy. It doesn't mean that they don't have an opinion, it just means that they don't have the confidence to express it. So we were doing this workshop that was fantastic. We had mentors, like Oman's most prestigious artists that broke the way and paved the way for art to continue and prosper, and as we enjoy today. These were the Hassan Mir, Anwar Sanya, Anna, and apologies for anyone else whose name I cannot remember. We gave them a very simple exercise. We said to these girls on the first day, we're giving you a paper. The only thing we're saying is that you cannot use your own colors. We will provide you the acrylic, and you cannot just shade. So they were like, yeah, we can do this. And we said to them that you must draw a landscape. We did not define this landscape. We just said that you must draw a landscape. 5 minutes went past and no one did anything. They were all giggling amongst themselves. We thought perhaps they did not understand the point of the exercise. So then we got into a conversation and we told them, explain the situation. They still did not do anything. Then 1 girl, 2 girls, 3 girls, and 4 girls started asking us the same question. They said, Abla, what do you think we should draw? First of all, I think it was scary they were calling me a teacher, for those of you that know me. But secondly, it dawned upon me that these girls wanted to draw what they thought I wanted them to see, what I wanted them to draw. They wanted to put down on a paper where they were supposed to put their vision and their voice of the past, present, and critically think about the future. But they were doing things and this really saddened me. And I realized that if women did not value their own voice, then no one else was going to. It's statistically been proven that when men work, no offense to any of you here, it's not a fact, when men work and when they raise money, they spend 50% of their income on the education of the children. And this is more true for the Mediterranean and the Asian countries. they tend to differentiate between boys and girls. Women tend to spend 90% of their income, and they do not make that differentiation. It is so important that the voice of a woman is respected, but this can only begin if she respects her own voice. If you want to see prosperity, if you want to see progress, and if you want to build productivity, then you need to ignite women. Women are the catalysts of change, and they're the ones that are going to bring up the next generation. They're the ones that are feeding the people, and they're the ones that can help ensure that our economy goes to the next level. And they need to do it in conjunction with partners of the other half, men. So this is another picture of the girls. They were sort of going through an exercise with a Tunisian artist, actually a really, really famous artist, whose name I cannot remember. I'm so sorry. Okay, the second story I'm going to tell you is of a girl, or now she's a lady, called Anna. I'm sorry for those of you that can't see her name. This is her signature. Anna came from a very, very, very poor family, and I cannot stress how poor she was. She's Mexican-American, and her parents migrated. She's the first of 5 children. Anna's father worked the field. Her mother also worked because they had to fend for their family and for the kids. Anna went to elementary school. She was lucky she went to elementary school. Anna was also very intelligent, so she graduated at the age of 16 from high school in America. But by the time she graduated, she had moved 20 times. Okay? I moved 3 times in 1 year from university to Oman, in my holidays, and I thought that was too much. 20 times. She moved 20 times around, but she's stuck in the same school. The day she was leaving her school, her math teacher said to her, "Anna, where are you going?" And she said, "To Philip Lim. I'm going, that's it." Her father, unfortunately, 2 years back had a huge accident, and which meant he was bedridden. Anna realized the pressure of her family because her mother could not continue to feed them. So she realized that she had to go out there in the workforce and get money for the family and help contribute. So she had to graduate early. It wasn't a choice for her, it wasn't a luxury, it was something she had to do, and she did it. Her teacher refused to accept this. He said, "There is no way you're going to go home. There is no way that you're not going to go to university. You have to go to university." She said, "Look, Mr. Phillip, there is no way I can do it. A, we do not have the finances, and B, I'm a girl, I'm the first of 5. I need to support my family, and there's no way that they would let a girl just go off." And he said, "Look, I need to see your parents." She said, "There's no way. You cannot convince my father. He's a proud Mexican man. He's stubborn." And she said, "No." Anyways, luckily, Anna got to persuaded her father to see her math teacher, and he came to her house that evening. So they sit down, and a couple of hours later, he managed to convince her father to let Anna go to university, but on one condition. The teacher had to find a way to finance it. He said, "No problem." He had already personally filled out her form to go to university, and he put it in, and luckily Anna got a scholarship. So she's got the scholarship, she goes to university. 2nd year, she falls in love. She gets married. She gets kids. She's at 2nd university, so that means she needs to drop out. So she went through all of that, and Anna dropped out of university in her 2nd year. Some people may think this is failure. Some may say, "Look at her, she failed." But failure does not exist. Failure is a concept, and I think it's too loosely used in our society. Yes, she didn't graduate from university, but she was the first one in her family to go, and she was a woman. So, anyways, I met Anna. See how you like her story. I met her because I was very privileged to be able to go to an Arab Women's League in Jordan that had women from all over the Arab region who were sort of represented in men's balloting and shootout. And she did share the story with us. Anna went on to have 3 kids, 3 beautiful children, who are all married now. And Anna then decided, after her 3rd child was born, that she was going to go back into university, which is great. Anna then went on to Harvard Business School in a joint degree with Kennedy Government School of Public Policy. And she finished her degree. And in the summer, when her kids were with her, she took them to her lectures. And the little one would put his hand up and he would ask questions. A few years later, Anna continued to work in a bank, and she did well, obviously. She had the support of her husband. But she kept getting a job offer. She just kept getting this job offer from the government. And, you know, governments have lots of departments. And she said, look, it's not for me. I don't think I should do it. I don't really want to get involved in this. And, you know, it's a big hassle. She said no once. Second time they called her back. She said no again. Third time they called her back. She said, look, I've got your CVs. Interview these people. They're better than me. Give one of them a job. Fourth time they called her again and said, look, Anna, I think this is 2 years later. You have to take this job. We cannot give it to anyone else. You think it's an important job, right? No? Anna's signature was then on every single dollar bill in America. She went on to become the treasurer of the United States of America. And that's the story of Anna. Amazing, right? We can all do it. It's just about believing in yourself. I'm going to tell you about a third story. I met a girl a couple of years ago. I'm not going to tell her name for various reasons, but she had this idea. She came from abroad back to her country, Oman, and she had this passion, which was just, she just wanted to make a difference. She thought that, you know, the youth were a bit apathetic, they weren't really doing anything, and it's important because of the future of our country. How are we going to be competitive in the future? If they're not doing anything, where are they? She came across a subject, women's issues, and she felt really, really passionate about it. And she went and discussed it with her friends in her social time. And she realized that the people that she was discussing this with didn't have that knowledge. They didn't have that, that aspiration to even find out more. So she realized there needed to be an awareness campaign. So she told her mother, who laughed. She told her father, who said, you were crazy. So that means no one's going to fund her. Once that happened, she said, look, this is the one thing I want more than anything else. Okay? The important thing to remember from Anna's story, I'm just going to go back for one second, is that you guys may think that Anna was perseverant. She was dedicated. She had all this passion and she got what she wanted. But that's not the most important thing about Anna's story. What's most important about Anna's story is Philip Lim, her math teacher. How many of you have met a Philip Lim in your life? Hands up? Yeah? Who's changed your life? But most importantly, how many of you are going to become a Philip Lim to someone else? And that's the question we need to be asking. So having that thought, I'm going to continue into the next story. So this girl had this passion and she didn't know what to do, but she just had this drive and she had no guidance because nobody had done this before and she was still a fresh graduate and she was part of the youth and she was young and she didn't have any experience. So she somehow constructed this way. She found five incredible individuals. Just 5, it's a very small number, I can count it on one hand. They were all youth, just like her, who got together and had the same idea, the same passion. They were sharing ideas. And they put this campaign on. They didn't have any money. She worked for a few months. She gathered some money because her parents wouldn't fund her, but then they did afterwards. Don't tell her I told you this. So she goes, she puts this campaign on, it's amazing, but to get there it was really hard. She had all these ideas, she was selling it. Companies didn't understand the difference between corporate social responsibility and advertising, which is really sad. I don't know how many companies we have here. Still, you say, let's just see a star to say, how many ad space are you going to give me? It's completely missing the point. We're such a small society, philanthropy still is not understood, and charity it's sad as we're a Muslim country. Britain, America, they're hands in front of us, hands and legs in front of us. So she did it, and with the help of the Ministry of Social Development, they called her in, they found out, her and her team, and they did it. They finally put this campaign on. They're the first youth to ever put an international campaign on, a national campaign on in Oman in conjunction with the government. But what strikes her till this day, I know, because she stands here, is that why was she the first? There was no reason. She doesn't have more passion than anyone else. She loved what she did. That was literally the only thing that set her apart. Where are the others? In the 21st century, in 2010, how was she the first? It's just mind-boggling for me to even try and digest that. Why was she the first? And to be honest, I can't answer that question for you. I don't know why we were the first. I don't know why we did it. We did get a lot of slack for it, but in the end, we got there. But the fact of the matter is that we shouldn't be the last, and that we want the next person to be the first to do it on an international basis. So that's our story. That's the story of 2010 Omani Women, Empowering Women. Our vision was to ACE it, acknowledge, celebrate, and empower. It happened last year, and the fact of the matter is, as youth, we are so important. We are the ones that are going to carry the future. We're the ones in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, when we're competing with our next door neighbors, it's going to be us. We're the most important resource this country has. Not oil, it's going to run out. Not gas, not coal. It's us. Think about Britain. What do they have? They're a service-based economy. They don't have coal. They don't have oil. But look at what they are. We have so much to learn. But what's the best thing about us and about being Omani and about being youth in this country is that we have so many opportunities. Everything is on the plate for us. We have Omanization in companies. We have a hand in there before we get into the door to give us a job. But why are we not in top management? We have free education. We have amazing universities. We have the support of the government. We have loans. Welfare has gone up by 100%. Which country have you heard that welfare went up by 100%? The whole point of welfare, that when you're not working, the salary, the money that you get, is that there needs to be an incentive to get off it. If you're comfortable, then what's the point? We need to do something. And I know that the youth of Oman can. So, thank you.